Everybody good? Yeah. Cool. Well, we're now joined by Nashville Sea goalkeeper Joe Willis. Joe, first road match of the year this weekend. Red Bulls, very low scoring series history there. I think 3 of the last 4 have been scoreless draws, all clean sheets for yourself. Coming off a clean sheet in the opening match, which is actually your 50th with the club. If you wanted to start by talking about how training's gone this week and what you expect to see from the Red Bulls.
Yeah, training's gone well this week. Red Bulls are a team who bring a lot of high energy. They like to press high. We're a team this year who likes to play out of the back. We like to build up. And those are the kind of things that Red Bull looks for to capitalize and force mistakes. So we're going to have to be very cautious in that aspect. They're a good team. No doubt about it. They obviously made it to the final last year and have possibly improved in the offseason. So it's going to be a tough test for sure, but one that I think we're up to.
Well, just go down the line again. But
yeah, Joe, I mean, you just mentioned wanting to build out of the back more. It looked on Saturday like you guys were playing short from most of the goal kicks, and then you had a couple times just in the run of play where you were holding onto the ball a lot more than usual. Just what's that kind of transition been like, and how do you feel playing in that kind of different system, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, the transition, like you said, it's definitely different. So there's a little bit of a learning curve for myself and for everyone involved. But it's something that everyone on our team is totally confident in doing. I think there are a lot of positives that can come from playing out of the back. I think especially when you play a team like Red Bull who has high energy, if you're able to break their press and make them run a lot without the ball, at some point, they're going to get tired, and then that's when holes will start to open up and we'll be able to attack and hurt them. But at the same time, I think we need to balance it and understand that if they're going to send a lot of guys high and press us, then it might not be the right time to play out of the back, and maybe we have to switch it up a little bit and look for balls in behind. And I think having a varied attack and approach in that sense will help us to be successful.
Go ahead, Ben, if you have another.
BJ also talked about just how you guys were happy with some of the things that you did on Saturday. I'm sure you're happy with the clean sheet, but also wanting to win at home. How do you kind of evaluate the performance from Saturday kind of in that light?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. We obviously are happy not to concede goals, but that's the bare minimum when we're at home. We need to win games, especially against Eastern Conference rivals. When we're at home, we expect to win 3 points, and that's how we're going to make playoffs and be a good team in this league, is by capitalizing on those opportunities. I think overall, a lot of new guys, kind of a new style of play for us. So I think the structure, generally speaking, was pretty good. It's just about tweaking and fine-tuning some of the details, which we've worked a lot this week on. Looking at video and on the field, walking through certain situations, and just everyone knowing their role and their job and where they need to be in any given circumstance.
Julian?
What kind of advice do you have for some of the younger players who are going on a road trip now for the first time? The differences about having to live out of a suitcase, being in a hotel room.
I mean, we all went through preseason together, so I think they have enough experience in that, and it's for some of the young guys playing road games, it can be tough. But the only advice I would give is that it's the same game whether you're playing home or away. It's just people in the stands are wearing a different colored shirt. Nothing else changes. We approach it with the same mentality that we want to win games. We want to win, whether it's home or away. We want to win 3 points. Again, like I said earlier, against an Eastern Conference team who we'd like to gain ground on. Just approach it like any other game.
Julian, you had a favorite?
And you mentioned the preseason. How much BJ talked about how it was designed to get you guys comfortable for the early parts of the season on the road. Can you kind of expound on that a little bit, and how much did that indeed help going there, coming back, all that stuff?
Yeah, we spent 2 weeks in Florida, came back, spent another 2 weeks in Florida, and went from Florida, played a Wednesday game, and then traveled to Austin and played a Saturday game at Austin. And I think it perfectly replicated what it's like in the season when you have a congested schedule and you have to travel and play on maybe short rest time. So I think it was good to get everyone that kind of experience and to start building routines and how you want to approach those games from an individual standpoint.
We'll go to Jacob and Bob, and if you have to,
Yeah.
feel free to ask them.
Yeah, Joe, last season you guys started out the season playing, I think, 8 games in a little over 3 weeks with Champions Cup and just schedule early. I guess what are maybe some lessons that you took away from just how packed that schedule was to start last season, maybe going into this part of the early season?
That's a good question. I think when the schedule's packed like that, you can get complacent because you have so many games. If you lose one, you can kind of tell yourself that, okay, we have another game in 3 days and it's fine, it's not a big deal. Whereas now when we're playing, once a week or a pretty normal schedule, every game feels a little bit more important. And I think down the road, at the end of the season, making the playoffs, getting in a position for a home game, it usually comes down to a couple points, and you never know when you're going to be able to pick up those points. So I think it's important to treat every game, with the utmost importance, knowing that a win, on our first day, if we would have won, maybe that would have been the extra 2 points that got us over the line at the end of the season. You just never know when it's going to happen, so you need to treat every game like it's, deadline day.
And I guess my second question, BJ's talked about how maybe a point of emphasis, point of pride for the team is being able to plug and play certain guys, be able to, have similar production just no matter who's in the lineup. With a lot of the new guys, coming in and out, young guys coming in and out of the lineup this part of the season, you have 2 new starters in midfield on Saturday. I guess what's that like for you as a goalie? How do you maybe try to maintain consistency for yourself and for the team with those new lineups?
Communication as much as possible, not just from myself, but from the players around them, especially when you have 2 younger guys making their MLS debuts in the center of the field. Like I said, we've done a lot of work in the classroom, so to speak, as far as what is expected out of everyone and what the roles are. So we hope that when one guy goes down, next man up, basically has the exact same impact. That being said, it's always, you never know what's going to happen. I thought Wyatt and Matt stepped in and did an incredible job. They're both high IQ players, very talented players. So I think it's a credit to the coaching staff and drilling us all preseason of knowing what the roles are and what's expected out of each position.
Joe, what did you learn about this team after Saturday's game?
I learned that we're a hungry team. We have high expectations for ourselves. I think that we are a team who has a lot of confidence in the way we're playing and what we want to do. I think we are going to be a process-based team. Obviously, results are what matters, but I think if we do the right things along the way, then the results will come. So, like I said, there are a lot of positives to take from the game and how we played, and obviously not scoring was a negative, but we are confident that if we continue to do the right things and play the way we're playing, that the goals will come.
You mentioned new guys coming in, especially in that back line. Do you have to adjust your game based on who's playing in front of you, whether it's Andy on the right or Dan on the left or somebody else filling in? Do you adjust your game, or is it pretty much just how you play and whatever changes it is what it is?
Yeah, I don't think that I have to adjust it too much. I think it's more learning tendencies of individual players. Like we've said multiple times, the hope is that we have a system and whoever's playing fits into that system. But, some guys have certain individual talents and abilities that, are on display during the game. Andy, for example, is a very good technical player. He's good at going forward, likes to dribble a bit. So just making sure that he has the freedom to do that while within the structure of our system and our team. I again, I think a lot of it just comes down to communication. And, if Andy's going to get high, then Dan needs to tuck in a little bit, and vice versa. If Dan, goes high, then Andy needs to tuck in a little bit. But ultimately, I think having, new guys in the back line or anywhere on the field, it really, communication can solve a lot of issues.
And then lastly, 50 clean sheets, you even have an assist in MLS. You've played, a couple hundred games, if not more. So where do you feel like you get the props you deserved, I guess, league-wide? And do you feel like there's something about goalkeepers maybe not getting as much of an attention as a forward would?
I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I know what my job is, and I know how it works. The goal scorers get, the praise. So I'm totally fine with that. I'm just happy to do my job and hopefully help the team, get wins.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you guys. Appreciate you coming out. Appreciate the patience.